There's a new game starting in 2025, and this new moon in Capricorn is the beginning of that game. Are you ready to play? I'm going to tell you exactly the cheat codes for getting ahead in this new game of life that we're entering into in 2025. We're entering into new territory. Before we get into the energy report for this new moon, if you're new to me, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm your astrology bestie. We're going to be having a lot of good fun together. The way I talk about astrology is a little bit different. I do not believe astrology happens to you. No. Here on this channel, we believe that astrology is just energetic currents in the sky, and you can hop in that current and you can get somewhere really fast. You can literally hop timelines every 3 months using astrology. We are just here to learn lessons, and we're so freaking lucky to have astrology because it truly can create magic in our life by allowing us to become aware of what those lessons are. So if that's your flavor of astrology, you've come to the right place. You're gonna love this energy report. So let's get into it. New Moon in Capricorn takes place December 30th, 2024 at 5:26 p.m. EST. This new moon is like the beginning of the board game. It's like that first roll of the dice where you pick your players, you're figuring out who you are, and you're seeing what's starting the year. Now, I know this new moon is happening on December 30th. It's not necessarily happening on the new year itself, but I would call this new moon the new year. It's way more new year-y than New Year's is, astrologically. Now, the real astrology new year is actually Aries season. That's the start of the zodiacal wheel. But I digress. This is starting our new plans for how we're going to live life. It's in Capricorn. Capricorn is the master builder of the zodiac. If I were to associate Capricorn with a number, I would associate it with the master builder number 22. Now, here's the thing. Every single archetype, aka every single astrological zodiac sign, because they're all different archetypes, we have all 12 within us at all times. So you have Capricorn within you. So you can resonate with Capricorn energy. Capricorn is the archetype of the builder. Capricorn is focused on the here and now. It is focused on what we are going to build in the material plane. And so because we are starting this new game, life is not life in the same like it used to. The way we go after our dreams is not going to be the same. The way we do build business is not going to be the same. The way we build families, the way we school our children, the way we acquire food, the way we get healthcare, it's changing. And I'm going to be coming out with a full energy report for the year ahead on my next episode, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But the landscape is completely changing. And so we have this ability to create astrology magic. Do you like my new sign? I've used astrology to manifest this sign. It's that magical. Capricorn is helping us build new structures. And at a new moon, we are planting seeds for these new structures. When I get into that year ahead energy report on the next episode, the second half of 2025 is like things changing. This could be the second half of 2025 could be there's no more schools and everyone's homeschooling, or a lot of people are taking their kids out of schools and homeschooling, and now homeschooling and group schooling becomes way more of a thing. This is what I mean by society life is changing. So this is the time when we're planting those seeds. We're getting in touch with this new version of us. And we've never been this version of us before. We've never been this version of society. Now remember, the North Node has been in Aries. Aries is the archetype of blazing new paths, of stepping into new territory. It requires boldness. It requires courage. It requires self-motivation and self-inspiration, and you really anchoring into the identity that is going to create this new life for you. What's fascinating about this new moon in Capricorn, as it's the beginning of the game, the board game for the next year, is it really ties in the North Node in Aries. The North Node is about to leave Aries. This is our final collective push to step into newness, to step into this bold new version of ourselves so we can start our new story. So of course, A lot of themes with this moon are tied in with that north node. There is deep, deep, deep healing at this new moon. I almost feel like the energy is, we all know those friends who have tension and beef with one another, and they're really similar and they project onto one another, and they're constantly getting pissed off by one another because of how similar that they are. And this new moon is like the time that these friends finally fight it out. They're like, you're a piece of poop. They're like, no, you're a piece of poop. I can't take it anymore. I don't even know why we're friends. And they actually are like, punch, 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 punch. And they get all their energy out. They get like 10 years of being friends and this anger, this projecting onto each other that's built up. They get it out of their system. Just, it's gone. And on the other side, they see clearly. They see, oh my God, I'm so sorry that I projected that onto you. I didn't realize I was doing the same thing. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I projected that onto you. I had no idea. You actually felt nothing like that. And I was projecting my own wounds onto you. Oh my God, we're actually more similar than we thought. You had that wound too? Oh my God, you thought that? Dude, I had no idea we were this similar. I had no idea. We could have been friends this whole time. We should have had this conversation earlier. I kept all this in my head all of these years. I can't believe I thought that about you. I can't believe I thought you hated me and blah, 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 all the things. And it's like that clarity that comes out of releasing a lot of energy from going through pain and struggle and confusion and maybe some delusion because you're projecting onto people, projecting onto life, a situation, whatever it is. And it's that fog clearing because you've released some of that energy, you've connected to truth, and now you're ready to come back into relationship with life with this person. So like in that scenario, these two people who just fought it out, who have been building resentment for 10 years, projecting onto each other, they got a lot of their energy out, and then they were able to see each other clearly and be in truth, and then come together and gain more power, empowerment together. And so the South Node has been in Libra. We have been shedding outdated ways of being in relationship. We have been shedding always listening to other people and thinking that we need to do what other people want us to do. We've been really anchoring into, what do I want? What's true for me? With the South Node in Libra, we haven't felt a need to keep the peace as much. When we enter into new territory and we're building a whole new world, a whole new life, pioneering doesn't keep the peace. Not everyone's going to get their way. Not everything's going to be fair. The people who are going to pioneer and are going to reap the most rewards from the next year are the people who trust themselves, who go against the grain, who connect with who they are, with their truth, and they allow that truth, that self-cheering, like really cheer, because the truth of who you are is fucking awesome. The truth of who you are can have anything, and I mean anything that you want. Trust me. I have been mind blown at what's been possible in my life. It's mind blowing to see what other people create in their life. Whatever you think is so cool outside of you that someone else is doing, that is within you. 1,000%. It's already happened in a different lifetime. And so, are you willing to choose that version of you this next year? That's a big theme of this new moon, is fighting through all of this discomfort of all of these things that are not truly you. All of these things that you've projected onto your life because of wounding that you've had. Maybe in your upbringing, your parents taught you you had to work really freaking hard. Life had to be hard. You had to prove that you were better than other people. You couldn't let other people win. And so you've gone about living your life in that way. And that could be the very thing that's been blocking you this whole time. And you can feel frustrated as all get up. And you could feel extra critical of yourself because you believe that you need to be on top, but then you're blocking yourself from being on top. And then you're just sad and critical and wondering why nothing's working. This new moon is like the final part of that battle. It wants you to heal it. It wants you to release it so you can step into your real authentic truth, your real authentic power. Your power is your self-affirmation. Your power is your ability to choose the timeline that you want. Now, you might be listening to me and thinking, damn, Rachel, you're a piece of poop, because I work really hard on myself. I do a lot of self-development. I do a lot of different things. And my life has not gotten that much better. I try so hard. That is what this new moon is about. You're trying too hard at the wrong things. You're trying to manifest things outside of you. You're trying to manifest goals and chase goals. Life is only hard when we focus on what's outside of us. When we bring that intention inside and we bring all of that energy to focus on who we are and cheering ourselves and believing in ourselves and anchoring into what's true for us and affirming ourselves and coming up with our own confidence and creating our life from the inside out. When we do that, we take our power back, we connect more to our truth, and then we actually impact our external reality. It's only exhausting to manifest when you're disconnected from yourself. And unfortunately, one of the shadow sides of Capricorn energy is that it's really easy for Capricorn to get disconnected from its truth, from its heart, and from what it truly needs. Why? Because we always look at the opposite zodiac sign in order to find the highest vibration of any zodiac sign. Every zodiac sign needs balance to it. And so a big part of this new moon is coming into true balance when it comes to reaching your goals. As the South Node's been in Libra, we've been shedding being out of balance because we had a warped view of balance. We were being overly politically correct. We were overly thinking about other people. So at this new moon, we're coming into true balance. And like I said, the nodes are about to leave Libra and Aries. It's one of our final times, opportunities to come into true balance. Not the balance of I work 9 to 5 and I work every single day and I work my ass off and I only get 2 days break on the weekend. That is not balance. But for some reason, we've been wounded and warped into thinking that is balance, and it's not. Back to the highest expression of Capricorn. The highest expression of Capricorn isn't completely disconnected from its feelings and disconnected from its heart. The highest vibration of Capricorn brings emotion, brings heart, brings connection to self into the journey of reaching its goals. It brings devotion into the journey of reaching its goals. So the lower expression of Capricorn, I talked about this on my last episode, is discipline. Now, you might be thinking, what do you mean, Rachel? Discipline is how I achieve this thing. Discipline is how I achieve that thing. You can totally achieve things with discipline. That's why discipline is with Capricorn. Capricorn definitely rules discipline. But we've been learning that discipline is not sustainable. That is the old way of being a human. There's like a new human coming online because we don't have the same world as this old human. The old human had to go out and hunt for food and protect itself against bears and had to live life a certain way. We have technology now. Life is efficient now. Yes, a lot of jobs are getting taken up, and it's because we don't have to work as hard. We've learned how to cultivate our power and humanity to do less effort to create more. That is what this Pluto and Aquarius over this next 20 years is going to be teaching us. We're going to be learning how to become empowered through technology, how to use technology in order to save energy and create more. So do you see what I'm saying? Not just us are changing, society is changing, but our brains just haven't caught up to what technology has done for us. And so we keep trying to live in this old version of being humans, the humans that didn't have technology, and we're working our asses off and wondering why we're so drained and not in alignment and feel more confused than ever. It's because we don't have to work our asses off anymore. We have to evolve with the technology. And now we get to use technology to make our life more efficient, but then we get to anchor into more of our power and our truth and our passion and what's really in alignment with us. Because discipline disconnects you from your passion and your truth. It's like, just get stuff done because you got to reach your goals. Just eat that food because it's good for you. It doesn't matter if you want to vomit after eating it. You know what I'm saying? Discipline will help you reach a goal, but you will get to that goal and feel drained and not happy and not connected to yourself. You'll just feel like you reached a goal. It's like when you diet and the whole time you're dieting, you're miserable. You finally reach the goal weight and you're happy about being at the goal weight, but it's not as great as you thought. Like, yeah, you're skinny, but now you're having to maintain it. And you're like, wait, I have to live this miserable life the rest of my life. It's so hard to be this skinny. So then you gain all the way back, and then the yo-yo dieting begins. I think that's a really great example to use. Versus the high expression of Capricorn, devotion, which this new moon is setting you up for. It's helping you connect more to yourself to live a more efficient life. Devotion has the same outcome as discipline, but discipline is disconnected from the heart, whereas devotion brings your needs into account. It connects you to love. So here's an example in my life. I've been going to the gym since I was 15, and in the beginning of me going to the gym, I was disciplined. I didn't really like it. I just forced myself to go to the gym. But what ended up happening was I feel so much better going to the gym than if I don't go to the gym. And so I started to recognize through connecting to myself, oh, this isn't just this boring thing that sucks that I'm making myself do in order to be skinny. This thing actually makes me feel good. It actually helps me get my work done better. It does all of these different things. And so I started to stay committed to the gym, not because I wanted to be skinny, but because if I didn't go to the gym, I would feel like crap compared to if I did. And obviously I want to feel good. I was devoted to feeling good. Devotion brings love into the equation. I wanted to love on myself. It felt good to love on myself. Now, the last year, it's been harder for me to go to the gym because I've been so bored with my gym workouts. And it didn't hit me until 4 months ago. I went to the gym and I thought, wait, I could do whatever I want. I don't have to keep living my life this way. Like, I don't have to keep gymming with these exact workouts. I could make this more fun, and I could switch it up, and I could go with the flow, and I could see what's fun for me. And so I started doing that, and then my workouts got way more intense and way harder and way more fun. I started sweating way more again and pushing myself and then feeling good. And then my body started getting more toned again. I lost a lot of tone because I was so bored of the gym. I was just like, yeah, whatever, like same thing every time. Okay, whatever. That's not what I do at the gym, but I kind of was working out. You get the point of what I'm saying. So maybe you have to crumble a whole part of your life in order to find that devotion. But maybe you just need to ask yourself, what would make me feel more love in my life? What would make me feel more connected to my goals? What would make me feel more connected in life? Because this new way, this new earth we're entering into, it doesn't want you to be miserable. It wants you to learn lessons about love and to come into more love. They say that Earth has now been upgraded to the frequency of the heart chakra. And so now us humans are learning to live from the heart chakra. We're learning to heal our heart chakra so we can live from it, so we can live from that devoted place. I don't know if anyone's into, I think it's the law of one. I think they're the ones who say Earth just entered into the heart chakra phase. So I'm not just the only one saying this. We're evolving from in humanity to live more from devotion, which is living with love as we go about co-creating our life. We're co-creating from love instead of just, well, you just gotta do it to reach your goals. Fuck your feelings. This is how you're gonna be a millionaire or whatever. I don't know why I came out with that accent. So let's talk about the Sabian symbol for this new moon. Now, the Sabian symbol in astrology, every zodiac sign in the circle, in the wheel, has 30 degrees. So if we look at Capricorn, it's one pie slice of the zodiac wheel, and there's 30 degrees of Capricorn. Each degree of Capricorn gives it a different meaning and different flavor of the Capricorn energy. So this new moon is happening at 9 degrees Capricorn. We round up to 10 degrees. And 10 degrees Capricorn is an albatross feeding from the hand of a sailor. This symbol speaks to a harmonious relationship between humanity and nature. Oh, would you look at that? We got to connect to nature, aka we're nature, ourselves. There's actual a harmonious relationship. We can trust ourselves. We can trust how we feel. We can trust that if we want to vomit at certain foods that we're eating, that we probably shouldn't eat it. And we can trust that when I feel good eating certain foods, I should eat that. And when I feel heavy and weighed down, maybe I can decide whether I want to feed that into my life. Do you see what I'm saying? This new moon's about realizing that reaching your goals is not just about discipline and focusing on what's outside of you and focusing on the goal and like fucking your feelings. No, your feelings are an important part of the manifestation process. And a lot of people are going to be learning that over this next year, especially over the first month of January when Mars retrograde starts going through Cancer, and we're going to be reviewing how we take action from our feelings. Yeah. You think it's a coincidence? It's not. So this symbol speaks to our harmonious relationship between humanity and nature. It represents trust, nurturing, and the ability to bridge differences. The albatross, a bird known for its long journeys over the sea, symbolizes spiritual guidance, freedom, and endurance. The sailor feeding the bird suggests generosity, connection, fostering trust in relationships. You want to know what fosters trust in relationships? Connection. When someone feels connected to a person, to a thing, there's trust. The lower expression of Capricorn, discipline, lacks connection. And so when we inherently move from discipline, we lack trust. And when people say Capricorn causes blocks, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, remember, and Saturn is the planet that limits us and blocks us. It only limits us and blocks us when we are not connected to ourselves, to the work we are doing, to another person, to whatever, however Capricorn energy plays out in your chart, because Capricorn for all of us rules a different area of our life. So it plays out differently for all of us. If you are not coming to my discipline to devotion Capricorn workshop in January, you're going to want to come. I'm going to teach you how to go from discipline to devotion and how Capricorn energy actually shows up in your chart. This workshop is going to set you up for all of 2025. I want you to be aligned. We need each other. It's about coming into harmony with each other, connecting with each other. Pluto's not in Capricorn anymore, but when Pluto was in Capricorn, we just wanted to get above each other. We're like, no, I'm on top of you. No, I'm the boss. No, I'm better than you. Okay, I'm comparing myself to you. They seem better than me. How do I get better than them? We're done. We're done. We're coming into connection with ourselves so we can come into connection with others and have more love in everything that we do in life. And that creates sustainability when it comes to reaching your goals. And it allows you to actually feel the win and be able to celebrate when you reach a goal. When you try to strive for a goal from discipline, you don't want to celebrate at the end because it doesn't feel good. Like that diet example I gave you. If you're dieting from discipline and it feels horrible and you're finally skinny, now you're just sad you have to maintain it. Now you're like, well, what can I do next? I have to have another goal. I'm not happy about this. Like, devotion will make you sit in gratitude and appreciation in your life. It will bring you into the present moment. For example, I feel so devoted to this business and helping you master your life using astrology. So much so that it has brought me into devotion in my life. I created this background and I love it so much because it feels connected to the meaning. It's this astrology magic. It has ostrich feathers. Those are pretty cool, you know? And what means more to me than anything is that I paid for it. I mean, I created it because I spent all day gluing the feathers. It was a lot. But I created it through helping people, through speaking my passion and then getting money for it. And then I got to make that. You better bet I've been standing in my office several times a day just staring at this. Before I went to bed last night, I stared. If you're not watching the video, I'm pointing at a background for my YouTube video, but I stared at this background that I created for myself for 10 minutes before I went to bed last night in gratitude and appreciation. When you live your life from devotion, you live your life in gratitude and appreciation of everything you create because it's connected to your heart. I imagine it's what it's like when you have a child. You are so proud and amazed and in awe of that child because you were devoted to creating it. It was created out of love. And so you just look at that baby when it's born and you're like, whoa, my body created that. That is creating from devotion. And so a big part of this Sabian symbol is about trust building and developing relationships that feel secure and nurturing. And that starts with you coming into your heart and wanting to connect with people in that way. You know, if you've been building a business and you've been mainly focused on making money and you haven't been focused on the relationships and the connections while you've been building this business and you've been wondering why you've been blocked, It's likely because there's an ask to create more devotion, more love, more connections, more relationships in your business. Relationships build businesses. Ask anyone. There's a lot of business coaches who preach that the only thing you need are relationships and connection. And that is because connection and relationships and love is the foundation of life and what makes the world go around. And we've been disconnected from it for so long. We've been taught to listen to other people, to focus on things outside of us. That's been the South Node in Libra. And now we're stepping into what do I want? Now, this new moon's the Sabian symbol is also about support and care, offering help to others in a way that encourages mutual respect and growth. And so a part of this moon is we're going to have Mars retrograde in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And then we're also going to have Mars retrograde in Leo, trine the North Node in Aries. So this is a North Node activation. While Mars has been in Leo, Mars is our willpower. It's our drive, our passion. It's what gets us to go. It's the gas, basically. And Leo rules the ego and the lower vibration. So Mars retrograde has been having us review what motivates us to take action. And what I will say is the lower vibration of Leo is being generous with others and giving, and then getting upset if people don't reciprocate that generosity. And that is the low vibration of Mars in Leo, because the highest vibration is giving from abundance and not needing anything else back. And because Mars in Leo is opposite Pluto in Aquarius at this moon, Pluto in Aquarius is bringing up our shadows. It's bringing up our disempowered thoughts, our trauma when it comes to reaching our hopes and dreams, when it comes to us feeling like we belong, when it comes to our association with friends and groups and networks. And so when Mars in Leo is opposing this traumatic planet that's transforming the new world, bringing us into more of a collective-based society than a linear hierarchical-based society, we're probably going to be going back and forth to, was I just generous with these people because I wanted something back, and now that they didn't give it back, I'm mad at them? And how can I take responsibility for that and recognize I gave not from a full cup? And if I gave not from a full cup, what would have filled my cup? How could I live my life from a full cup? If we lived in the highest expression of Mars and Leo, Leo is ruled by the sun. Leo is abundance. It is opulence. It is king, queen energy. It is having everything you need and more. And so if you were motivated from the idea that you have everything you need and more, and you really allowed yourself to follow your passion and you really lived from abundance, that is what's going to empower you in reaching your hopes and dreams over these next 20 years as we enter into a new phase of humanity. It's going from the low vibe of our ego of just doing things because we want success, doing things because we want validation, doing things because we want to be seen a certain way, or like I said, doing things because we want to be praised and affirmed for our generosity, and because then they'll give us something in the future. No. We're learning that we can't be motivated from that. We have to be motivated from ourselves. Again, the North Node's in Aries, and Mars in Leo is trining the North Node. The North Node in Aries is having us step into ourselves, affirm ourselves, tap into what really motivates you, what really brings joy and passion and feels like you could do it abundantly in your life. And by you tapping into that, that is what is going to give you your power to reach your hopes and dreams. That's what's going to align you with the groups and networks that are going to be a part of you reaching your hopes and dreams. As we go into Pluto and Aquarius in this more Aquarian time, we're no longer being each other's bosses. We're linking up on a mission to help each other, to all grow together. We're not here to be tit for tat anymore. That's the South Node in Libra. We're shedding that stuff. It's not about tit for tat. It's not about doing something so you get something back. It's about allowing yourself to truly trust in life, in your passion, and what moves through you enough to trust that following the fun is going to give you the life you want. That when you live from abundance, you get abundance. Like attracts like. And another thing with Mars in Leo is like, are you motivated to do things because people affirmed you and told you you were good at it? Or are you going to self-motivate yourself? We are moving into an age where self-motivation is crucial. I do self-concept work with my clients. I talk about it on my podcast on here all the time. Self-concept work is crucial. You have to cheer yourself on. No one else is going to. And the more you cheer yourself on and allow yourself to do what's passionate and fun for you, and you go against what society says you should do, and you trust in life that much, you trust in where your energy wants to go that much, you will be rewarded. This is a new moon in Capricorn. It is ruled by Saturn. This new moon is creating a long-term structure. Saturn is long-term. Capricorn is long-term. We are planting seeds for a new life for you, a new structure of life that's based in abundance and joy and passion and love, as opposed to scarcity and fear and bypassing your needs and not trusting your energy. And so I don't know if I said this yet, but I feel like this new moon is a battling of the wounds because we have that Mars retrograde opposite Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto deals with truth. And you're going to feel really frustrated if you are not admitting the truth to yourself. If you're just continuously going after a hope and a dream that you have because you think that that's what you need to do, even if it's not really connected with your heart, because your ego is like, no, this is what you have to do to have success. Like maybe someone else is telling you, you need to do this. This is going to bring you success. And they're on you every single day about it. And you're doing that thing because they're on you and you don't want to disappoint them and you believe in them and they're hyping you up. And you're like, yeah, that sounds exciting. I'll do it. But the whole time you're doing it, it feels really boring and not fun. And you don't like it at all. But they told you this is how everyone else became rich and found success. That's not going to work for you at this new moon. If anyone is influencing you at all and you're trying to find success from anything that's not truly coming out of like an innate passion for you, it's probably not for you and it's going to feel frustrating at this new moon. Now, we also have Jupiter in Gemini square Saturn in Pisces. This aspect has been building for a long time now. We had the first round of this in August, and at this new moon, we're coming off of it coming exact. But with Jupiter in Gemini, it's been helping us grow and expand in our mindset, and we've been wanting to think of things differently. We've been wanting to acquire new knowledge, learn new things, work on our mindset, grow and expand in our knowledge. With it squaring Saturn in Pisces, we've been wanting to grow and expand in what we know, but sometimes what you know is not really in alignment with your truth. And that's what this square can feel like. It's kind of like what I just talked about. Someone could tell you something's a really good opportunity, and you could know it's a good opportunity. But if you hate every step of that opportunity and it feels boring and you're dragging yourself through it and you're just forcing yourself to do it because you know it will bring success, that is a Saturn in Pisces block. It's just going to take you longer to align with your truth and align with your energy and align with your heart by trusting that thing and not trusting how you feel throughout the process. So that's what Saturn, that square can feel like, is a lot of information, not sure what to do, and nothing feels right. But also Saturn in Pisces is really focused on the here and now. You know, when we want to step into a new version of ourselves and create a new life, but what we see right now is the life that we've always known and what we always thought we were capable of, and maybe it's not that much, it's really hard to ignore this current reality and believe you could have something else. But that is what we're being challenged with at this new moon. Ignore your circumstances. Ignore your current reality. Everything that you have right now is just a manifestation of your past thinking and your past identity. And as you step into this new identity, this new way of thinking, and you ignore everything outside of you, because as you think differently about yourself, your outside will eventually follow suit and change. It may take a couple months. It may take a few months. Who knows? When you do self-concept work, I find that it can happen in like a month. Like physical changes in your reality that are mind-blowing, sometimes within a week, but definitely within a month. Saturn is really concerned with what it can see right now. Don't allow what you can see right now inform what you know. Realize that you are always co-creating based on what you're choosing to anchor into your subconscious, what you're choosing to anchor to learn, what you're choosing to feed your mind with. And so feed your mind with the life that you want to have. Focus on the life you want to have. Choose the life you want to have and act as if you are that way right now. And as you act as if you are that way right now, you will start to embody it. You'll start to think differently. New pathways in your mind will open up. You'll see new opportunities and you'll create a new life. We are entering into very spiritual times in 2025. When the North Node moves into Pisces, it's actually on the day I'm doing the Capricorn workshop, I timed that. We're entering into very spiritual times where we're going to be leaning on spirituality more than the practical, real reality. Virgo is going to be on the South Node. Virgo is practical, the how, the planning, the perfecting. We're releasing that the next couple years, and we're surrendering into the unknown. We're co-creating with magic. We're creating magic, astrology magic, if you lean into the North Node in Pisces. And that is a moment by moment practice. It's you anchoring into who am I right now and continuing to evolve that from here right now. That is a great way to overcome this square. You know, another thing with this square is it can be rather confusing because you'll have people projecting onto you, you'll be projecting onto people. That's one of the ways Saturn in Pisces blocks us, is if it makes us think that the block is outside of us and that we project, well, that's the block. That's why I can't have that thing over there. But what we forget is that Pisces is a mirror, and everything that we think is the block outside of us, everything stems inside. That's your power. Bring it back inside. Maybe one of the ways you self-sabotage yourself when it comes to building your life is you start to think you're not worthy and not good enough, and you allow your brain to be infiltrated with those thoughts. And so then every time you start a business, for example, you stop after 2 months because you shit on yourself so much that you stop. That could be this square. You recognizing, oh, I only block myself by me starting to make up all these stories that are not true, and me not having faith and trusting in my God power, trusting in the fact that I create my reality every second of every day. Nothing outside of me does. So that could be the square you're having. Just know what you currently see and know are not the full picture. We've been collectively wounded not to shine in our power and not to own our power because we don't want to be called delusional or crazy, or we don't want to seem like an a-hole because we think this highly of ourselves. Shed that shit. With this final South Node in Libra, we have to shed looking like an a-hole and being afraid of being mean. Because being fake nice just to be nice is meaner. And actually, you magnetize your people by being yourself, even if you're afraid you seem mean. Your authentic self is not mean. Your authentic self is love. Now we're going to talk about some more mindset healing that's coming at this new moon, because we have Lilith opposite Chiron and Lilith sextile Mercury. So Lilith is the asteroid goddess that is so deeply connected to a deep intuitive knowing. And this deep intuitive knowing that you have is different from other people. And so Lilith is rejected from others because she knows her truth, but if others don't agree with her truth, she fears getting rejected. So the place where we have Lilith, and right now Lilith is in Libra, and so we fear getting rejected by other people. We fear getting rejected for honoring our truth in relationship, our relationship with money, our relationship with people, our relationship with reaching our goals, our relationship with creating money, our relationship with our health. Again, Lilith is in Libra. Libra is in all relationships. And because Lilith, which is this deep shame that we've suppressed around our intuition and what would truly create balance and harmony in our life, is opposing this wound around ourself, Chiron. And the thing about the wound around self is that our wound around self only perpetuates when we don't own who we are, when we don't connect to ourselves, when we don't trust ourselves, when we don't put ourselves first. Again, fill your cup up so it overflows to people, not giving so that you can get something. Remember the Mars retrograde in Leo? talk that we had. So you might be going back and forth. Should I really rebel and do my own thing? Am I going to get rejected for doing my own thing? What is that going to mean about me? And it's really anchoring into your power and helping you heal a wound around self. And then with Lilith sextile Mercury and Sagittarius is helping us open up to our truth, own our truth, create opportunities through owning our truth. It's helping us open up to faith and possibility and a new way of looking at life, a new way of opening up opportunities. With its sextiling Lilith, that shows me owning your truth, even in the face of getting rejected in your relationships, is going to work out great for you. That's where all of your luck, your abundance, your growth, your expansion is going to come from. And so there could be a big fear at this new moon because Lilith and Pluto, and those two, that Lilith, the asteroid, and Pluto, the planet, are being activated at this new moon. Those two planets dig up that deep, yucky, gooky stuff that lives underneath that we don't want to look at. That shame, that anger. And so there could be a big call to be like, no, I'm going to trust myself. No, I'm not going to do this thing because you want me to do it. No, I'm not going to keep going against my truth for you. It's like a no to everything you've been taught that doesn't feel in alignment with you. That's not fun for you. That doesn't bring more love to your life. Because you deserve love in your life. We're going to get into the tarot cards, but the tarot card I pulled for how this new moon is impacting your whole year ahead. You can't make this shit up. Love begins. Love begins when you allow yourself to create from love, to create from devotion. Like attracts like. You will start having more love in your life. Love will begin in your life. I'll tell you for me, and I'm of course a work in progress. I don't have it all figured out. I'm in this with you, boo. But I've done a lot of work already going from discipline to devotion. I used to be a very disciplined person. And now that I am devoted, I don't have time scarcity in my life anymore. I don't feel like I need to race to reach a goal anymore. In fact, pleasure infuses every ounce of my life. And I'm guided by pleasure. And a lot of people, you might be listening to me and think, yeah, Rachel, I got to pay my bills. I can't just be guided by pleasure. If I went out and had the drinks and my version of pleasure every day of the week, my life would not work out. Listen, I think we're confused on what true love is versus just pleasure. This new moon is asking you to have more pleasure in your life, but are you having pleasure that's connected to love, or are you indulging in pleasure that's not connected to love? So let's talk about pleasure connected to love. Pleasure connected to love would be going to the gym, for example. It might not feel pleasurable while you're at the gym, but going to the gym is an act of love because it gives you pleasure afterwards. And then while you're at the gym, like the example I gave earlier, if you're bored as shit doing what you're doing, find a fun way of working out. That's what I mean. Adding love, adding devotion into the connection with self as you go about reaching your goals. So love and infusing pleasure in your life doesn't always mean eating cake every day and then feeling like shit. That's not love. We're getting in contact with the truth of what is love for us because we are disconnected from it. If we were truly connected to ourselves and the love that's within ourselves, we would feed ourselves perfectly, we would work out perfectly, we'd go to bed at a great time, get perfect amount of sleep, because we would just be flowing with our nature. And remember, this new moon is about combining nature as we go about reaching our goals, trusting our nature. Now, the other cards that I pulled. Okay, we have trapped in fear. You could be feeling this a lot at this new moon because think about it. Whenever we go into the unknown, whenever we go into a new way of living life, it is scary. It's super out of our comfort zone and it can feel like death could happen. It's just you could feel paralyzed, especially at this new moon. And of course you feel paralyzed your whole life. We've been taught to not be connected to ourselves, at least here in America. I don't know, maybe you grew up in some monk country and you were taught to be connected to yourselves, but most of the world, we're not taught to connect to ourselves. A lot of religions don't teach you to connect to yourself. They don't. They tell you to connect to God or something outside of yourself. Some have you connect to yourself. I'm not saying all. But we become trapped in fear when we're disconnected from ourselves because we're like, oh my God, what's going to make me feel better? Oh, it's going to make me feel better. When the answer's literally in here. And it can be scary to turn inward. You could be like, what am I going to find? Is this going to turn my whole life upside down? If I listen to my truth and love, would I leave my husband of 20 years? I don't know. I just made that up. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be scary to align with love. And so you could be trapped in fear. That being said, this new moon is a great time to get freaking bored. If you're feeling trapped in fear, don't try to claw your way out of it right now. This is not a time to control and force. This is the discontent in boredom card. The best, most genius inventions in life and just in your daily life, the best creativity, the best breakthroughs come through boredom. You don't have to figure it out right now. But your discontent is a sign that you gotta clear all this shit out and just get bored and stop trying to force and stop trying to move forward at all costs just so you can have success, because you need to make sure this happens. You need to control. Sometimes it's good to listen to the discontent and stop doing the things that continue to perpetuate that trapped in fear. And instead, you clear it all out and you allow yourself to get bored, and you allow and then it's like, let's talk about the first fun thing that pops up. You know that saying? Let's talk about the first thing that pops up. Like, what's the first thing that pops up, aka turns you on for life? If we want to get in alignment with love, sometimes the way out is not to just do fun things, because you might not know what the fun things are. But your discontent is a sign to stop doing the things that feel discontentful and to get bored. And then we have fulfillment of wishes. Gosh, what do you think happens on the other side of you being really freaking bored and then you being like, well, maybe I'll try this. This seems fun. Maybe I'll do this. Oh my God, we could do this and that. Like, we all know that breakthrough moment that comes out of a lot of space, a lot of boredom, the thing that we didn't expect, the thing that bubbles up from behind us. That is Pisces energy, my friends. And remember, Saturn is ruling this new moon. Saturn is in Pisces. And part of the Saturn in Pisces work is surrendering to the unknown and allowing truth, true love to bubble up. Because if we keep trying to force and think about what we love, we don't allow the truth to bubble up. Pisces is the unknown because you can't control it and you can't force it to give you the answers. You can't be like, subconscious, tell me the answers. It doesn't work that way. But what does work is you getting bored and just starting to lean into, little bit by little bit, what feels pleasurable, what feels like love. And when you do that, this is going to lead you to your fulfillment of wishes. This man, he's on top of a leaf with a treasure chest. This leaf looks like new growth. And remember, this is a new moon. And it's got waterfalls in it. When I look at waterfalls like that, I think of scorpionic energy, death and rebirth, transformation energy, and it's on both sides. And it really, when I think of Scorpio, I think of power versus control in the two waterfalls facing each other. It feels like true growth happens through you finding the middle between the two extremes. So Scorpio helps us transform. Scorpio is not part of this new moon, but we're talking about it because I see waterfalls, and waterfalls that are heavy water are connected to Scorpio. So Scorpio, the way it transforms and finds power is it goes between the extremes. And so it goes to control, and then it goes to complete like the other side, which is spiraling. So think about like spiraling versus control. That's Scorpio. And how does Scorpio finally transform? Well, it either swings between the extremes so much that it exhausts itself and it finds the middle, or it swings all the way to the one end and exhausts itself, and then it swings all the way to the other end and exhausts itself, and then it finds the middle. When you're in the middle, when in this card, it's this guy that has the treasures in the middle between the two waterfalls, the middle of the extremes. It's not about living your life from cracked out desire, because when we live our life from cracked out desire, we only desire things that we don't believe we already have. And then at the same time, when we stay away from things and don't do things, and we want to throw up over the idea of doing it because we're traumatized around it, we also block ourselves from having the thing that we want. The key in having everything that you want is in the middle between the two extremes. It's one foot in gratitude, the other foot in desire. Realizing you're good right now, you're whole right now, you have everything you need right now, but you're excited to keep growing and expanding and finding more love. So it makes me think of the Libra Aries axis, because we swung too far to the Libra side, where we were being overly politically correct, overly thinking about other people, overly relying on information outside of us, and now we're swinging back towards us. And this new moon is about finding that balance between you and the relationships in your life through tapping into love. And there's a bunch of green in this card, heart chakra. We can't make this shit up. That is the key. Smell the roses. Be more present. This guy's smelling roses or some sort of flower. He's smelling them. The key to your wish fulfillment is in the present. It's not in the extremes of the waterfalls, the extremes of emotion, the obsession and the, oh my God, I need to have this no matter what, I'll do anything, because you don't believe you have it. And it's not in the scarcity and the deep fear of like, oh my God, I'll never have it. Everything sucks. My life's the worst. Like, neither of those things are good motivators to you having your wishes fulfilled. Your wish is fulfilled when you are in the present, when you're connected to love moment by moment, and you flow with love. And you will be karmically rewarded over the next 2 years as we move into the North Node in Pisces, a collective surrender, and Pisces rules unconditional love. That is the destiny point for these next 2 years. Okay. This is my interpretation for the new moon in Capricorn. Make sure you subscribe if you made it to the end. Give me a like, give me a heart in the comments. And if you want to tell me your biggest takeaway in the comments, if you're watching me on YouTube, I'd love to know. And again, I have my Discipline to Devotion workshop. It's how you get into the highest expression of this Capricorn energy so you can start building your life from devotion rather than discipline, using your chart. So we're going to be looking into your specific chart so you can understand you, because we're all going to be doing this differently. And so you got to know how you're going to be doing it. And here's the thing, when you learn to flow with the astrology, you will hop timelines every 3 months.